The big talker, he traveled coast to coast to see a ball game here in New York City at Yankee Stadium. But 53-year-old Paul Robinson from Washington wound up on the disabled list, leaving the Bronx with a broken neck. He says a drunk fan fell on top of him, tumbling down from a row of seats up on the upper deck. Doctors are saying a fraction of an inch in either direction, and Robinson would have been paralyzed for life.
We're not here really to talk about the future of legal action. Right now, I'm thinking about recovery, and excuse me if I don't speak too well because my throat's a little swollen. But I'm just so grateful that I was able to receive the care that I got here.
Well, if he does seek legal action, does he have a case? Well, we've got Laura Clark Fay, a former prosecutor, joining us, and David Schwartz, a defense attorney. But first, I have Paul's wife, Kathy Robinson. She joins me now on the phone. Kathy, thank you so much for coming on.
Sure.
I know you're at the hospital by your husband's side, which is why you couldn't come in today. Tell us, first of all, how is he doing?
He's feeling better, and we're taking it sort of one day at a time. He is anxious to get back home.
And I understand that that's the one thing you've asked the Yankees to do, to give you guys a free plane ticket to fly you home. Is that right?
That's correct. In fact, they're flying us home on one of their private planes.
Are you wanting any other revenge? I mean, obviously you want the guy who fell on your husband to be caught, and right now we don't know where he is. We're going to put up a phone number, in fact, for people to call unless for some reason they know. What else do you want? I mean, are you considering suing the Yankees?
You know, right now we're just focusing on getting my husband well, and any future legal action is something that we haven't made any decisions on yet.
Okay, and tell me about what the doctors told your husband regarding how close your husband came to being paralyzed.
Well, basically what we were told is that this is the worst possible place in your neck to have a fracture, and had the vertebrae that was fractured, had that misaligned or gone out of alignment by even a fraction of, millimeters more than it did, he could have been paralyzed or worse.
All because of a drunk guy. And what blows me away is that apparently when this drunk guy fell on top of your husband, somehow the drunk guy got away. At this point, nobody knows where the drunk guy is. I mean, I know that you were so glued to your husband and taking care of him, but did you notice if the drunk guy got up or if his friends helped him?
He was not able to get up at all. He was sort of like a human missile.
Wow.
Fell dead weight on top of Paul, and he was hustled away by a couple of his friends. That he was not walking away under his own power.
And where were the police?
I was so focused on Paul. Mm-hmm. I don't know how to answer that. I don't know.
Well, and I know there are surveillance cameras all over Yankee Stadium, and I know they're watching them very closely, so hopefully they'll find this guy. Kathy, hold on one second. I just want to bring in my attorneys here, Laura Clark Fay and David Schwartz. David, first of all, you hear Kathy's story. What comes to mind as far as legal repercussions?
Well, certainly negligence comes to mind. This is clearly a case where the Yankees had a duty. They had a duty to provide a safe environment for all the fans present at that game. They breached their duty. They breached their duty by giving this fan alcohol and allowing him to get drunk, and it certainly is foreseeable that when a fan who is drunk and there isn't proper security there, they will do something like act like a human missile and jump onto somebody else, and they totally breach their duty of care. So I think there is a lawsuit against Yankee Stadium.
All right, but Laura, you say that there's a disclaimer on the ticket that actually keeps the Yankees from being responsible at all. Is that true?
There's a disclaimer on the ticket, and that is one factor that the Yankees are likely to focus on. But it's not the only factor. I think the primary thing here is that the injuries that occurred here and the actions that took place, were they predictable? Was it something that Yankee Stadium would have predicted, that a drunk person would go flying several rows down and land on Mr. Robinson, seriously injuring him?
Well, I don't know.
And I think that's very questionable.
Wait, just real quick here, though. I mean, obviously the Yankees cannot predict something like this could happen. However, continuing to give someone who's already drunk more alcohol is certainly not helping. David.
I
Julie,
totally agree.
That's
I
what
agree,
it will come
Julie.
down to.
Julie, I totally agree. They did not provide a safe environment by continuing to give this alcohol. And as far as a drunk person, it's certainly foreseeable that when someone is drunk, they are going to just go flying wherever they can, especially in those upper decks in Yankee Stadium, which anyone who's ever been in that stadium knows that you go sort of straight down. It's leveled very vertical up there, and you're going to go straight down. The stadium had a duty to provide security and to not give this person any more alcohol. They are liable for the injuries. It is foreseeable.
This person hasn't even been found. We don't know who served him. We don't know at the time. We don't know that anyone at Yankees Stadium served him.
Well,
we know. Come on.
And if at the time
you can't go in there with your own bottles. They do search, and they search your bags before you go in. So if you're drunk before you come to Yankee Stadium, that could be an argument that this person got drunk, then showed up at Yankee Stadium and didn't actually purchase alcohol there. However, I'm sure that once they catch this guy, they can talk to witnesses and friends who will have to testify if there is some sort of court hearing on all of this, that he was indeed drinking drunk at the Yankees game.
Julie, they still have to provide still have to provide a safe environment. So even if he walked in drunk, there has to be security. They have to provide a safe environment for each and every fan. That disclaimer on the back of the ticket, that's complete nonsense.
All right.
No, you have to personally sign off to that.
All right, you guys,
we still don't know all the facts.
Well, we don't, but let's hope that they find this guy. Kathy, I know you're still on the phone. I just want to give you the final word after hearing from our two attorneys. How do you feel?
Well, I just want to say that it was not exactly the way that we had hoped to spend our first vacation to New York. But we are just so grateful that the outcome is going to be a happy ending as far as Paul's recovery, and that's really what we're focused on. And the other part is that we really would like to have any and everybody that witnessed this and that can provide any additional information come forward.
Absolutely. All right. Well, Kathy Robinson, we're going to put up a phone number right now to show people where to call. And also, I want to thank David Schwartz and Laura Clark-Fay for coming on. All right. So the Yankees are urging anyone, just like Kathy said, the Robinsons are urging anyone to call with any information about this man who injured Paul Robinson. So here's the number. You can call the team directly. It's 718-579-4420. Well, a U.S.